Good evening and welcome to the Melissa Cardinals Network. This is the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. We join you every Monday night here at the Dugout Sports Grill at the Z-Plex. This is Trey Graham along with head coach of the Melissa Cardinals, Matt Nally. And I keep saying it, but welcome to 5-0.
Yeah, it feels really good. Feels really, really good. And I say it every week, but it is so wild that we're going to be in the bye week and we're 6 weeks into this. So, I mean, it's wild.
We're going to talk about the bye week in a few minutes. Final score, Melissa 59, the Terrell Tigers 28. So the all-time series between Melissa and Terrell is 5-0 in favor of the Cardinals.
Dang right.
We talked last week about the best starts ever for the Cardinals team. You have matched the second best start ever at 5-0 with that 2020 famous COVID team.
Dang right.
Best start in school history, 7-0 back in 2008. And you sat here on camera last week and said,
we'll beat it.
You're going to beat 7-0.
Yeah, we'll beat it.
38-8 in the last 3.5 seasons.
Dang right. Dang right.
19 consecutive district wins.
Dang right. That's awesome. That is awesome. Once again, always goes back to the kids and the coaches, and the kids have done an unbelievable job in executing the game plan. Obviously, that was on point and on show Friday night, but the coaches have come up with an excellent game plan. The kids have executed it, so all praise to them.
Couple more stats just because stat nerds like this. Team offense averaging 55.6.
That's not bad.
Points per game.
That's not bad, yeah.
And allowing 22 points per game.
That's not bad. In our day and age, offensively, that's not bad. Really, that's on both ends. That's extremely impressive on both ends.
Averaging 496 yards per game. It's
Dang
not
right.
50-50 anymore. It's 51-49.
Uh-oh.
Rushing 51%, passing 49%.
You know, I mean, when it comes to those things, you know, Coach Russell, Coach Hamilton, the rest of that offensive staff have done just such a great job of, calling a game, but Coach Pickup has done an unbelievable job of coaching Trevor Ham in the regards of managing the game. There was multiple times Friday night that, you know, they went and said, hey, Trevor, you could do X, Y, and Z, you know, because it's the truth. Trevor really is the offensive coordinator. You could do X, Y, and Z, and you can't argue with him when he says, Coach, you know, it seems like Nate's getting about 8 yards a carry. You're right, buddy. Keep doing what you're doing, you know. So a lot of credit needs to go to Trevor Ham and the way that he's managing the football game. But at the end of the day, it'll always be the same when it comes to football. And football is won and lost at the line of scrimmage. And those 5 kids offensively are doing an unbelievable job of owning the line of scrimmage. But it comes down to it on the defensive side, too, giving up 22 points. That box, the defensive line and linebackers are playing amazing. So, once again, we've got really good players, really good coaches. So, it's just fun to sit and watch as they perform and watch everything come together.
We're going to introduce our offensive and defensive players of the game here in a few minutes, but you already mentioned, and spoiler alert, the offensive players of the game are the 5 O-linemen. And I'm going to let you comment on them in a second, but I got to go through some of these stats because the Nate Adejokin stats, the Trevor Ham stats, the Lincoln Dunn stats, the Carson Maynard stats, they're all possible because of these 5 guys.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, when it comes down to it, you know, we had some shoes to fill, you know, some holes to fill from last year in the regard to Brandon Ward and obviously Trevor Gooseby and, you know, I mean, people don't understand. You know, Luke Dama was a starter for us last year. Now, you know, we've moved Luke to the defensive line. He also plays offensive line, a little tight end for us as well. But Luke's kind of turned into a Swiss Army knife for us. But when you have those holes and whatnot, you got to have the perfect fit. So the perfect fit, first and foremost, is our offensive line coaches. And I don't think they get enough praise for the things that are going on. You know, Coach Rosh and Coach Metter have done such an amazing job of, in my personal opinion, helping those kids develop not just for high school football, but for beyond. And then you got to go with the 5 kids that are up there. I mean, it all starts with DeMondre Tasby, who's doing an unbelievable job in identifying fronts, but he's extremely physical. You know, he's a perfect center. And then, I mean, when you talk about Owen and Jake Brown, I mean, they might be the 2 best guards in the state of Texas. So, but once again, those 3 kids together, because those 3 kids obviously are working together the most. Those 3 kids, I mean, extremely high IQ, football IQ, a brotherhood between those three kids. Really, I mean, it's a brotherhood with all five of them. But to make a long story short, and then you go to your tackles, and we've had long tackles before, but these two guys are both long, both strong, both athletes. They're the ones that are put on an island more than anybody else, and I mean, to me, if I was playing for the Melissa Cardinals, I'd be so glad that those five kids are playing up front for me. But the thing is with an offensive lineman, people don't really understand is they sacrifice the most for the team, but they also have the tightest bond with each other than anyone else on the team. And it all falls back down to Coach Rosh and Coach Metter. They've set a really great culture with those kids. And they bought into it, and I mean, we're super blessed that they're a part of our football team, and I'm super blessed to be around those kids every day.
In just a minute, we'll introduce you to these five starting offensive linemen. The left tackle, Ryder Slayton. The left guard is Jake Brown. The center, Demondre Tasby. The right guard, Owen Hollenbeck. And the right tackle, Grayson Spann. And to just keep going on these stats, what we just said, these five guys make these stats possible. Nate Adejokin, 113 carries, 826 yards, 7.3 yards per carry, and 9 touchdowns on the ground. Trevor Ham is completing 75% of his passes.
It's kind of like his coach, kind of like me back in the day.
When you went 3 for 4?
Yes. When he threw 4 passes a game.
75% completion rate, 1,140 yards, 19 touchdowns, 1 interception.
He is, like I said, he's managing the game like no quarterback that I've had since I've been here. Brendan and Sammy did such a great job, but he's seeing things that only coaches see. And once again, that falls back to Coach Pickup and the way he's coaching him. So super proud of Trevor, and from the year 1 of being in the system to the year 2, obviously you can see that. And he's really dominating play right now.
2 leading receivers, Lincoln Dunn, 31 catches, 366 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Carson Maynard, 24 receptions, 418 yards, and 9 touchdowns so far. He had 18 a year ago. And one of the reasons Trevor Ham looks good is because of Lincoln Dunn and Carson Maynard.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, we're having our coaches meeting today and just talking about different things and talking about the goods and the bads and whatnot through the first 5 games. And, one of the things that, once again, I go back to Trevor managing the football game. A lot of those things he's seeing pre-snap but also post-snap. So there was a concept Friday night that he saw a man's side and he saw his own side. And, when we're taking different shots, like if we're high-lowing or whatever the case may be, he's going to work the zone side. If we're taking more of a vertical shot or whatever the case may be, he's going to work the man side. And right when we see it as coaches, obviously we can't talk to him. And you're like, wow, I mean, we've got what we want. And he took it. And once again, I mean, when you're throwing to Lincoln and when you're throwing to Carson Maynard, even all of them got great hands. But, you feel really good when the ball's in the air going to Lincoln and Carson. The ball's going to be caught.
Nye had a great catch.
Oh, yeah.
Gooseby had a great catch.
And that's just it, too. Like, there's so many kids. But Coach Hamilton and Coach Casey Hamilton and Coach Ryan have done an amazing job with those kids and preparing them for the game. But also, I mean, that's the biggest piece of being a receiver is catching the football. And all those kids can catch. But like I said, you feel good when the ball's in the air and Lincoln and Maynard are being targeted.
We're going to meet our defensive player of the game in a few minutes as well. I want you to talk about number 4, the senior DB, Christian Turner.
So Christian has come in. He's a move-in from McKinney Boyd, and he came in with a work ethic that was like none other. So right when we got him, I mean, he's new to the program, so you don't really know what you have and what you're looking at. But you know what you're looking for. And right when he came in, right when he came in, I was like, he's a perfect example of what a Melissa Cardinal is, and we're going to treat them all the same. Like, right, if they're Melissa Cardinal,
we got to meet his dad just a minute ago too.
He's a great guy,
great man.
But if you're a Melissa Cardinal for 5 minutes or you're a Melissa Cardinal for 12 years, you're a Melissa Cardinal. It doesn't matter. And so, to make a long story short, his work ethic is like none other. And the first thing you'll notice about him when you meet him is he's got the greatest handshake. And when you're a kid and you got a great solid handshake, man, you're moving in the world. So, but he's so talented. Right when we got him, we thought a lot of Jacob Fields, and some of the things that Jacob did. So
who's making a difference for
yeah,
Raw Tech
my
right now?
gosh, I was talking about Jake today with the other coaches. Like, come on, Coach Cumbie. And I know I'm biased, but give that kid the ball more. But he is such a great kid. Now he's more of a action leader, and the one thing I love about him the most is just his energy and his tenacity in the regards of he wants to be great, and that's the thing that you can't people don't have that all day or every day like people used to have. I mean, he just wants to be great, and I just love watching him every single day trying to become great.
You're going to get to meet our offensive players of the game and our defensive player of the game here in just a minute. We do remind you to join us on Monday evenings at 5:30 p.m. right here at the Dugout for our weekly filming of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. Make sure you subscribe to Melissa ISD on YouTube so you can watch the two of us every week. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? And subscribe and follow the Melissa Cardinals Network on Facebook. We'll keep you updated with all the information and news about your favorite team. And finally, this time I'll invite you to our church home on Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. or 10:15 a.m. Go to firstmelissa.com to find out about how you could be a part of the First Melissa Church family. We'll take a break, and we'll meet our players of the game right after this. Welcome back to the Dugout. We are introducing you to our offensive players of the week for the big victory over Terrell. And our offensive players of the week for this game are the 5 starting offensive linemen: Ryder Slayton, Jake Brown, Demondre Tasby, Owen Hollenbeck, and Grayson Spann. And this is the left tackle. This is Ryder Slayton, a junior number 70. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Have you been to the Dugout before?
I have.
All right. Pretty cool place.
It is.
All right. Now, all these guys with all the stats. We've talked about Nate Adejokin and Trevor Ham and Lincoln Dunn and Carson Maynard, all those guys. It's true that they can only get those stats if you guys do your job.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Do you tell them that?
No.
Do they know that?
I think they know that, but we don't tell them that.
Okay. And this is your first year starting?
Yes, sir.
As a junior?
Yes.
So what have you learned as a second string, as a backup? What have you learned from your predecessors that you've brought into the season?
I mean, it's okay to make mistakes like once, then you learn from them. Because when I was back up, I always saw Trevor, like what he did, just picked up things that he did.
Trevor Gooseby? He was a pretty good player.
He was.
Yeah.
And it's just helpful to know that you can be relied on, and like you have Jake, and he's a good partner that helps me with stuff.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about being an O lineman?
Eating.
Eating, really?
Yeah.
Okay. How much do you weigh?
275.
Okay. Is that what the roster says?
I think so.
Okay.
It either says 280 or 275.
Okay. And what do you want to do after high school?
Play college.
Do you have a favorite place?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. This is where you say go Black Knights.
Go Black Knights.
Very good. Our first guest has been Ryder Slayton, and we'll be back to introduce you to Jake Brown right after this. Welcome back to the Dugout. We're introducing you to the starting offensive lineman for your Cardinals. You just met Ryder Slayton, the left tackle. This is Jake Brown, the left guard. He's a junior number 77. And is it true that the left guard's job is to make the left tackle look good?
Yes, sir.
And do you do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is your favorite part about being an offensive lineman?
I think it's just like the bond that we have. It's unlike any other position that.
And that's true for people who understand football. But if you don't speak football, explain that.
Like our friendship and just everything that we do stuff together outside of football. It's a lot closer than other position groups.
What do you like to do?
Eat.
Okay, that's the same thing Ryder said. All right, how long have you lived in Melissa?
13 years.
Your whole school career?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And what do you want to do after high school?
Hopefully play college ball somewhere. And
do you have a favorite team?
UNT.
Really? Very good. Coach Matt Nally went there. All right.
My dad went there too.
Okay, that's probably a better reason. All right, our guest right now has been the left guard, Jake Brown. We'll introduce you to our center, DeMondre Tasby, right after this. Welcome back to the Z-Plex. This is Trey Graham on the Cardinal Scoreboard Show, and we're introducing you to our Offensive Players of the Week for the victory over Terrell. And this week we are honoring the 5 starting offensive linemen. You met Ryder Slayton and Jake Brown already, and now it's time to meet the center, DeMondre Tasby, junior number 63. Welcome to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show.
Thank you for having me.
And you've never been to the dugout before.
No, sir. It's my first time.
It's a beautiful place.
Yes, it is.
And you've never watched the show.
No, I have not.
Okay, well, we've only been doing it for 3 years, so you got some, catching up to do.
Okay.
All right, how long have you lived in Melissa?
I moved out here in February.
So just like 6 months ago.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you move from?
Allen, Texas.
Okay, and compare Allen to Melissa.
I definitely feel like both places that have some benefits, but I feel like Melissa is more a place for me. I feel like it's more quieter. I like, a little more spaced out, a little more. Allen is very fast-paced. I think I like it out here. It's more, like I said, more quiet, slower pace. I like that a lot.
Brothers and sisters?
I have 2 sisters. They're older than me.
They're older than you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are they football fans?
Not really. They're fans of me. So
Okay.
They're fans of me.
Okay. Now, I was a football player many, many, many years ago. Okay. And the center used to say they were the smartest guy on the O-line.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, why do centers say that?
I think it's because there's more that goes into, so I think definitely it starts off with calling the front.
Sure.
If the front is different, if the front is even, there's
Now, again, we have to explain to non-football speakers, okay?
So
Explain what
let's
that
say
means.
the front is what the defensive line is lined up in. So let's say there's 3 down defensive linemen. That's called an odd front, and that changes up the rules for everybody. But if there's 4 defensive linemen across from us, that's an even front, and that changes everything. Not even just for the offensive line. Sometimes it changes stuff for the quarterback, for the H-back behind us, for the running back. So it's a lot that goes into it, and on top of that, you have to make your other calls depending on what play it is. So it's definitely a lot that goes into.
So people don't really understand. Once you break the huddle, it's not over yet.
No, it's
There's
not
a
over.
lot of planning still going on.
Yeah. And so you just have to be on your horse, make sure. Sometimes you have to look at linebackers, what they're about to line up in. And so there's definitely a lot that goes into being the center, making sure everybody else is right. And so just making sure you're on your horse.
Not to mention, with 99% of the plays in the shotgun, you better get the snap off.
Oh, yeah. The snap, that's definitely one of the most important jobs as a center, definitely getting the snap back and still making sure everybody else is right.
What's your favorite part about playing with these guys?
Just the bond we have. That when I came in here, they welcomed me with open arms. I felt like a part of a family. And so just having that bond with them, knowing that those are like my brothers, I like that a lot.
Good. And I asked the other guys, what do you want to do after high school?
I definitely want to go to college. If the opportunity presents itself to play football, I would like to continue playing football. I want to go into college and study something business related. What I want to do is I want to do real estate, but really you don't have to go to college for real estate, but that's something that I've been looking into a lot.
Very good. Well, congratulations on being our player of the week.
Thank you.
This is our center, DeMondre Tasby, number 63. We'll take a break and come back and introduce you to Owen Hollenbeck right after. Welcome back to the dugout. This is Trey Graham. You're meeting our 5 offensive players of the week for the victory over Terrell, our starting offensive lineman. And so far you've met the left tackle, the left guard, the center, and now the right guard, Owen Hollenbeck, Jr., number 78. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You've been here before.
Yes, sir, I have.
Now, we've said it already, but all 5 starting offensive linemen are juniors.
Yes,
which
sir,
is
that
a
is correct.
Pretty cool thing. However, this is your 3rd year as a starter.
Yes, it is. I've been starting since my freshman year.
So you're the most experienced, theoretically, right? Supposed to be the leader of the group.
Yes, sir.
Talk about what that role means.
To me, it's really big because even though I'm still a junior, I have to be that leader, even though there's some seniors on our squad, but they're like our secondaries guys, and it just means a lot to me because I've always been taught from a young age to just be that guy to be there for everyone and just protect my guys, be there if they need me, talk them through stuff, teach them stuff, or even ask them questions if I need help. And just kind of how it is.
So when you were coming up on the team, who did you look up to as a role model?
Definitely Seth Pintor. He's kind of like my father figure on the squad. because he's always just taught me everything. He always watched out. He had whacked me on the head a couple times because I always stepped on his foot. But other than that, yeah, that's probably who it was.
And what do you like to do in school? What's your favorite class?
I'd probably say engineering right now.
Okay, why?
Right now we're working on a lot of coding and stuff, and so I get to like dive deep into like how to like start coding things and making stuff work and going into like the depth of how everything works in the technological world, since all the advancements are like so crazy now. It's
Sure.
just really interesting to see.
Sure. How's the recruiting process going?
Recruiting's going really good right now. Been going to a couple games, talking to some coaches all over really this summer.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it, or is it stressful?
I think it's a little bit of both. I really enjoy it. I like to see how everything is, and like I know it's not a lot of people get to do it. It's a very small group of guys when you go, and I'm very fortunate. The stressful part really just comes from just you have to like always be on your best. You can't act around because really to a lot of places you're just a guy.
Right.
And you're only a number, so you just want to be very careful what you do and how you do it. And I really just basically go with respect, and definitely it's just great that my family gets to come with me. I'm very proud that I can just do this all with them.
Do you have a few schools at the top of your list? Are you ready to go public with that?
Not really. I mean, I have a few because just offer-wise, I mean, there's OU, A&M, Arkansas, I have Florida, I've been talking to Georgia, and just
Wow.
a lot more.
Good. Good. And the last question, you've played multiple different positions on the O-line. What's the difference in tackle versus guard, left side, right side?
Tackle is a lot more of a difficult position because you have to be a lot taller and lengthier, and that's kind of why I moved more inside, because we have guys that came up and they're a lot lengthier than me. I'm a lot more built big and like wide, so that's why I got moved to the interior. But I would definitely say that you have to be a lot more skillful in the interior with your hands and your feet, because if you get caught up, that's the straight line to the quarterback, and I can't let my guy get hurt.
Very good. Always remember that.
Yeah.
Our guest right now has been the right guard, Owen Hollenbeck, junior number 78. We'll come back and introduce you to the right tackle, Grayson Spann, right after this. As we continue our introductions of the starting offensive linemen, so far you've met Ryder Slayton, the left tackle, Jake Brown, the left guard, DeMontre Tasby, the center, Owen Hollenbeck, the right guard, and this is the right tackle, Grayson Spann, junior number 58. And you've been here before.
Yes, sir, I have.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And have you watched the program?
I have not watched the program.
Okay.
Sorry.
But you're going to watch tonight?
I will, yes.
Okay,
I will.
very good. What's your favorite part about playing offensive line?
My favorite part is probably just, like, it's the most unique position on the field, I feel like, because, like, I played quarterback before and receiver. It's all, like, you know, just catching the ball, throwing the ball, but, like, O-line, you have to worry about, like, scheme. You have all this different stuff that's new to me, I guess I should
Okay.
say.
Now, you're the son of a coach.
Yes, sir.
Is that a great thing? Is that a hard thing? Is it a weird thing? What is it?
I would say it's a good thing because, like, he's harder on me than everybody else because, I mean, I'm his son, but I just like it that way. It makes me improve.
And have you been a student of the game from a young age?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. What have you – I mean, you were the little kid running around on the field back in the day, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
what did you learn coming up in the game?
I learned a lot. I mean, I've just always been around football. I mean, just being around football just teaches you so much. And, I mean, I've just learned, like, hard work. I mean, just I looked up to, like, when I was in, like, 5th grade, I looked up to the high schoolers here. I mean, it just taught me a lot, just watching practice. I mean, it just teaches you a lot.
And all of your guys sitting over there that you get to work with, what's it like being as part of this unit?
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's like I've never been a part of, like, such, like, a family before. Like, just being, like, I feel like O-line especially just has, like, a unique bond. Like, anywhere you go, there's always, like, the O-line are always together. And, I mean, I just think it's awesome.
And that's true. I mean, I've been around a lot of teams, and that's true. But why is that?
I think it's just because, like, I mean, we're all big, so we all have common interest.
Which is apparently eating, the way those guys look.
Definitely, yeah. And I just feel like it's just, like, I don't know, because, like, O-line, we don't get stats, we don't get none. So, I mean, we can all, like, rely on each other just to be, like, just doing our job, just doing our thing. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on being here.
Thank you.
You've met our 5 offensive linemen, the offensive players of the week for the victory over Terrell. We'll come back and introduce you to our defensive player of the game, Christian Turner, right after this. All right, after the injury timeout, we'll reset the offense here. 2nd down, 7. Cardinals at the 16 of the Tigers. Give to Nate Adejokin. Again, makes a man miss. 10-5. Touchdown, Cardinals. Touchdown, Nate Adejokin from 16 yards out. Nate Adejokin's 7th touchdown run of the season. He said his preseason goal was to have 20 rushing touchdowns, and there's 7 right there. And here is the great downfield blocking for the Cardinals, and there's Nate Adejokin with the speed, part of that state championship 4x100 track team, and Demondre Tasby with one of those great blocks by the O-line, setting Nate up. Touchdown, Cardinals. We have 1:50 to go in the first quarter, and Nate Adejokin already has 96 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. It's the Nate Adejokin show so far tonight.
We got to talk to Coach Nally about Nate. He says a lot of people underappreciate and underrate his speed.
He's going to hand the ball off now, has a huge hole to the right side, and he's going to pick up another 9 on that carry. And it's the Nate Adejokin Gasham offense so far right now here in the first half.
You and Coach Nally were also giving him pro comparisons.
We did. We had a chat during the Cardinal Scoreboard show. Is Montgomery. Ham is going to hand the ball to Adejokin, who has another breakaway at the 10, makes a dive into the end zone, and it's going to be touchdown Cardinals. Nate Adejokin's 3rd touchdown run of the night, and the beatdown is on here in Melissa, Texas. Cardinals now lead 41-7 with a Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. You met 5 really big guys a moment ago, and now we got a little bit smaller guy here. Christian Turner is the DB, number 4 senior, and he is our defensive player of the week for the victory over Terrell. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And you said this is the first time you've ever been to the dugout.
Yes, sir, it is.
Pretty nice.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Those are some big dudes over there, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And you're new to Melissa.
Yes, sir. I just transferred here over this summer.
Okay.
So, yes, sir.
And what positions have you played in the last couple years prior to moving to Melissa?
In the last couple of years, I played safety, nickelback, and corner. So
Okay.
most of the DP positions.
What do you like most?
I like corner the most.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I bet I know why, but tell the audience.
I like corner the most. I just like going 1-on-1, man-on-man, just seeing who's the best and who's going to win. So, yeah.
And not only did you have a great game on defense this past week, but you blocked a punt.
Yes, sir, I did. Yeah.
Fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
Have you blocked a punt before?
Yes, sir. I'm known for blocking kicks at my old school. So
Okay.
It's nothing new.
Okay. So what's the secret?
Just
Do you want to tell them or not? You don't want to tell them?
just timing the ball well and getting off. Just make sure the blocker misses and you get to the ball. So that's really it.
Now, again, we have folks watching who don't speak football very well.
Yes, sir.
So explain. You've got to aim for the football. You got to aim for like his kicking leg. You
yes,
can't
sir.
aim for the player. That's a penalty.
Yes, sir.
Explain that.
So you want to get off the ball, aiming at the kicking foot. Just make sure you whiff by the kicker, not hitting the kicker. That's a penalty. So, yes, sir.
Okay. And a blocked kick of any kind, field goal, PAT, punt,
Yes,
that's
sir.
a game changer.
Yes, sir. It changes the momentum very well in the game. So it was a very successful moment for our offense, and they went down and scored. So, yes, sir.
What do you like about Melissa?
Just the family environment, the team. When I came over this summer, you can feel the team presence. All the coaches and players are like family, even the community in Melissa.
And what do you like about your classes at school?
My classes, all the teachers are really cool. They are understandable. So if you're having something going on, they will understand and work with you. So, yes, sir.
And how about this new place?
I like it. It's a big home.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. Something is nice. It's something new. So, yes, sir.
And what do you want to do after high school?
I'm going to go and play college football, just further my academic and athletic career. Right now, I hold offers from small D2s like ECU, Henderson State out in Arkansas, schools like that. But after the season, I'm going to commit and make my decision.
Okay. Do you have a favorite place you want to go, a dream spot?
Dream school, it was Colorado, but now it'd be Texas Tech.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
My dad went to Texas Tech. He played there.
Okay. All right. And old out there with Coach Prime, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And last thing, talk about the defense. The offense, we just talked about them, but the defense really, as they say, wins championship. It controls the game.
Yes, sir.
Talk about defense.
Our defense is based on we want you to play your game. So we're going to put you in a position to make plays. And it's a team aspect. So one of us make a play, we all make a play. So that's how the defense works.
And I guess I'll ask one more. Talk about the way you scout and prepare for the opponent.
So watching film, I'm going to break down each player, the tendencies, the quarterback's tendencies. And I also like to watch their defense on the field and see how they transition momentum from offense to defense. So, yes,
well done. Congratulations for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Our defensive player of the game for the victory over Terrell was defensive back Christian Turner. And congratulations for being here. We'll take a break and talk more with Coach Matt Nally right after this.
Yes, sir.
Henderson under center. Wing T formation, full house backfield, toss sweep. Bingman's going to throw the halfback pass down the right sideline, and he's going to throw it out of bounds, incomplete. Good coverage on the play there for the Cardinals by Christian Turner, and it's going to bring up 4th down and long, and Coach Sedberry sends out the punt unit.
Christian Turner has been a new addition to the Cardinals defense this year, but so far, especially last week, so far he's played great coverage, as we'll see on this replay right here by... He wasn't fooled by the trick play of the Terrell Tigers, and he's so far on every possession I've seen had great clean contact, stayed next to the receiver, and played defensive back as well as you could possibly ask.
4th and 17 coming up. There's the snap back. The Tigers will punt the football, and Christian Turner blocks it. So the Cardinals are going to get outstanding field position. They force a punt on the first drive, and there is big number 4. DB senior number 4, Christian Turner with the punt block. And here's a Wellet Electric sponsor. Replay right here. Great effort from the kicker's left side, came right in and knocked it away. Great job not making contact with the punter. And with that punt block, Cardinals will take over at the plus 35-yard line. The Terrell drive continues. They're at the Cardinal 39-yard line. And they're going to go toss sweep and a cutback and a positive play, about 2 on that carry for the Terrell Tigers.
Christian Turner on that tackle. And if you go back to the previous play, that was one of those times where I told you they're going to run the ball several times, and then they're going to try to get the Cardinals defense to fall asleep by passing it. And Tigers were fortunate on that play because Nigel was right there. He was in the backfield. He just barely missed a sack.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. This is Trey Graham and Matt Nally at the dugout. You just got to meet 5 really big people.
It probably is the biggest offensive line we've ever had.
Christian Turner's a good-looking athlete.
Golly, he's a good-looking kid,
but
too.
He's not as big as those guys.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest offensive line we've ever had, but it's probably the most tight-knit offensive line we've ever had, and just a fun group to be around.
It is the bye week. Cardinals are 5-0 on the season, 2-0 in the district. Just go down the standings. A couple of comments here and there. Lovejoy 4-1, 2-0 in the district. Then 4 teams are 1-1. Denison, Crandall, Greenville, Princeton. Terrell 3-2, 0-2 in the district. And your next opponent after the bye week, Mesquite Poteet, they're having a rough go. 0-5, 0-2 in the district.
Yeah, Coach McLean and his team, Coach McLean does a great job of coaching those kids, and they've got a really good team. They've just had fallen on some hard times, so they'll be a really good opponent for us, and we're going to have to bring a sack lunch to be prepared for them, and we're going to have to respect every opponent. We can't look at scores and stuff like I've said previously. When we were kids, you go to the barber shop and you could read the paper, and kids, it's instant. They can see things and whatnot, and we can't buy into that and whatnot because you see it on film. They've got talent, and Coach McLean and his staff do a really good job with the kids that they have. So we'll have to be prepared next Friday night.
It is the bye week, so take your Friday night off and enjoy some time doing something besides watching him work and me work on Friday nights. So what is your strategy? Not the schedule, that's the second question. First question, what's the strategy or philosophy of the bye week?
First and foremost is kids need a break. coaches need a break. That's the first thing that goes into a bye week is people don't truly understand how much these kids put into it and how much these coaches put into it. I mean, this is the first weekend that the coaching staff has had off since July, so and I know that's well needed. For me as well, and is to spend a weekend with your family and not have anything else go on. So, and then as a kid, just to have a break. I believe that kids should be kids, and they need to have lives outside of football. So that's the first goal, break. The next thing is we'll have abbreviated practices. I gave the kids off today. We watched Terrell film during the period. After school, we lifted, and then so tomorrow we'll practice, but it'll be abbreviated. So we usually practice Monday and Tuesdays, for 2 hours. Tomorrow we'll practice for an hour and 10 minutes. Wednesday we'll practice for an hour and 10. Thursday we'll practice for an hour and 10. Wednesday we'll lift weights after school. We'll be watching film throughout that time. But Tuesday,
Poteet film or someone else further?
Poteet. We're gonna concentrate on who we got. Tuesday and Thursday, I'll give them off after school, and then Friday we'll lift weights and watch film again. But it's about rest, recovery, and then I like to say prevention. So what I mean about prevention is you have mental lapses and mental lulls that kids and coaches can do. So like I've had buddies that coach, and they'll be like, I treat a bye week just like a regular week. You just don't play the game, and I've done that in the past. I feel like I have more success in the regards of getting the kids and the coaches kind of back on track the week after the bye week, in the regards if we do actually kind of take a break. And I firmly believe that's the way it should be. Now, so prevention in the regards of having that law, but also prevention in the regards of, hey, we work out, we lift weights, we stretch, we do all this stuff, but hey, man, let's really take an opportunity here to stretch our bodies. Let's really take an opportunity here in our weightlifting. So we have now, I don't know the technical term, but we have lowered our weight in the regard, and we do higher reps, but it's more, hey, we're going to take it easy on the joints and the ligaments and whatnot this week, allowing our body to recover. Than most weeks. It's high amped up and whatnot. So those are the first two things, and then the last thing is really focusing on, okay, what are we good at? Cool, we're good at this. That's awesome. Well, how can we be really great at it? What do we have to do to get great at it? What are we not good at? What do we have to do to be good at it and great at it? But if we're not very good at it, do we need to cut it? So really
what you just said is really not a bad life plan too.
Absolutely. But it's more about self-scouting this week than anything else. And that's special teams, defense, and offense. And then, I like to reflect on, when we had our coaches meeting today, this is, I say, hey guys, all right, we're doing a program powwow. Tell me what is, I don't care about the good stuff. I want to know what's bad about the program. Week 5 of the season. Tell me.
You do remember you are number 1 ranked in the state of Texas.
Right.
Okay.
But, I just want to know those things in the regards of how can we get better? How can the program get better? What can we do practice-wise to get better? I just feel like that is something that you kind of get complacent with success, and I don't want to be that way. I want to be like, hey, what can we do? And, my wife does an unbelievable job of telling me what I can get better at. And so, and I try. So, and I think I'm pretty awesome. But she can always find something I can get better at.
Your boys are over here. Do you want to bring them on the mic? Okay.
They'll probably agree.
Okay.
But I just think that, in the realm that we're in, that we can always get better. And not just that, like, I don't want the kids to ever feel like, man, we've made it. We've made it.
And we've talked about that, I think, on camera and off camera. Complacency. I mean, you are 5-0 and number 1 ranked.
Right.
You can't get complacent.
Right. And, we haven't made it until we get the gold medal put around our neck. So I constantly am going to push them, and I'm constantly going to put them in adverse situations, but also with myself and the coaches as well. Like, I don't feel like we've got the magic pill just yet, So, and I hate to sound like Bill Belichick right now, but it's on to Poteet, kind of.
I don't think he's ever said that phrase. Okay, before we finish, there's somebody I want you to brag on, and we've talked a lot about players, of course, and coaches, but your medical staff, your training
Yeah,
staff.
heck
Tell
yeah.
us what they do for you as a football program.
First and foremost, we go back to prevention. So they do a lot of prevention.
Name some names for everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, our head trainer is Coach Bierman, and then we have Coach Williams, then we have Coach Lestraps, and then we have a ton of athletic trainers. This is the one thing I will say about them that they've done an amazing job is building the athletic training staff with our kids.
High school students.
High school students. And a lot of people don't see that. Like, our players get there at 6. Our training staff gets there at 5:30 in the morning. So they're already there at 5:30. Our kids are going through, and they're getting ready for the day. Also, they're taping our kids, foam rolling our kids, whatever the case may be. And these are students. This isn't just the athletic training staff. This is athletic training staff with students. And that's a skill like, I don't care what anyone says, when I talk to people about that, they're like, oh my gosh, why would kids do that? Well, think about it. What if a kid's hiking and they trip and fall? They've learned a life skill that they've learned when they were a sophomore in high school that they can do for the rest of their life. But prevention is the biggest deal. And then when it comes to actual, like a kid that is injured, people can say what they want to say about athletic trainers, or in Melissa, when it comes to athletic training, we have some of the greatest athletic training technology. I would rival it to any high school. Anyone can get on a table and you're going to get stem. They do cupping, they do blading. Yeah.
This is a bunch of electronic machines we're talking about here.
It's totally unbelievable in the regards of recovery.
It's more than an ice bag.
Yeah, like when we were kids, it's better than dirt. Rub dirt on it. But they do such an amazing job. And then the thing that I love too is they're teaching the kids how to do that skill as well.
Right.
There's a lot of kids that'll go through the program, and they've sent a few kids to college to be athletic trainers as well. Right. And then when you learn that skill, it can propel you to different professions and whatnot. And then they're a part of the game. Like, people don't understand. It doesn't matter what game it is, but they're a part of the game. If a kid gets hurt, they're the first person there. And when you go into the tent and whatnot, and they'll come to you and say, hey, Jackson now, he's hurt. I know he's on special teams. You know what I'm saying? And there's not a lot of training staffs that can say, hey, because that's the biggest deal when it comes to a kid that's hurt.
Sure, you got to replace them.
Yeah, and especially special teams.
Right.
They're a big piece of the game. They're a big piece to everything. But they have so much say and so much things in what's regard. Coach Bierman and Coach Williams, I have so much respect for, but I have so much respect for them because their job is to keep kids safe. And a lot of people think, oh, it's their job to keep them out of the game. No, it's not. That's not their goal. Their goal is to keep them safe, and if they can play. If they can't play, that's a different story. But I have so much respect for them and the job that they do.
As we finish up, take a second and say hello and thank you, if you wish, to the Cardinal fans who are watching.
I would like to say this to the fans is every single home game, it's been amazing. Like, I was sitting there and we were talking to the Terrell coach before the game. He's like, yeah, we'll have like 8 people here or whatever. And, I was thinking, okay, it's Terrell. Like, it's not homecoming. It's not the first game. It's the third home game. It's not anything like special besides. And you look and you're like, wow, there was a ton of people at that game. Like I said, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless sometimes, because there's a lot of people. It's just like the people that were here last week. They have no affiliation with the school. They don't have a kid that's on the team or in the program, and they're supporting and they're at the games and they're there. And the two gentlemen that were here last week, they come to every game.
Home and away.
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, we're at the China Spring game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was a heck of a drive to go to. So make a long story short, I don't know what to say, just because of the fact it's overwhelming at times. The support that you get, because a lot. It's not, we're in the minority when it comes to support from fans and parents and everything. We're people are jealous of us just because, and they should be. I know sometimes, like, I walk into that stadium and you're kind of in awe about the stadium, but even at Cardinal Stadium, I would be in awe of the people in the stands. Like, wow, this is just a Friday night. They're just high school football's being played, but it makes you coach better because of their expectation. But it makes you so proud that these people have invested so much, and they have so much invested in the program. But, like, there's people behind the scenes that, I could sit here for the next hour and talk about these people and what they've done for the program over the years. Carrie Smith, Naomi Hollenbeck, Miss Damel, Miss Maynard. I could continue to go on. Miss Stoner. There's so many people from the freshman moms up that have done so much, and not just that. Kirby Wilson and Mr. Hollenbeck and blah blah blah. There's just a ton of people that are involved behind the scenes that people don't know, and they do a lot and they sacrifice a lot for those kids. But, like, just the regular fan, to me, it's like, I said it before and I'll say it again, it's the closest thing to being at a college football game and not being at a college football game, And I know Coach Kenny Deal Stadium does a lot, but I felt that way at Cardinal Stadium too, just about the fan base, and everybody loves being a Cardinal.
You are joining us here at the dugout for this week's edition of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. You met our offensive players of the game, the 5 starting O-linemen. You met Christian Turner, our defensive player of the game. His name is Matt Nally, and he is the head football coach of the number 1 ranked team in the Class 5A Division II in the state of Texas, your Melissa Cardinals. Don't forget, it's a weekend off. Enjoy the bye week. Come and see us on Sunday morning at First Melissa, 9 a.m. or 10:15 a.m. Find out more at firstmelissa.com. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy the bye week. And for all of us at the Melissa Cardinals Network, this is Trey Graham saying good night from the Z-Plex.